In the quiet corners of the world where the weight of existence bears down on fragile shoulders, there exists a solace that transcends the mundane. Charles Bukowski, a literary maverick and a voice for the disenchanted, holds within the pages of his raw and unfiltered prose a sanctuary for those imprisoned by the pressures of society. It's not just the ink on paper, it's the symphony of truth that resonates within every word that he penned. In a world often deafened by pretense and adorned facades, Bukowski emerges as a guiding light, illuminating a path towards liberation from the chains of pain and conformity. This video is about the silent majority, the many who suffer and work in silence. I felt the need to bring Bukowski front and center to talk about the lonely and beaten down masses of regular people that the world continues to go on ignoring. This is for you. As I walked from my motel to the corner store, I was struck by a revelation. This wasn't my first time making my way across the country, but it was the first time I really stopped to think about the people I was seeing along the way. Not the flashy people in the cities or the quaint ones in themed small towns. I'm talking about the massive number of forgotten individuals, the ones that make much of the wheels turn in our world, but spend so much of their life on the road, working like hell just to make ends meet. I saw them buying food alone, getting a drink alone, having a cigarette alone. I don't know if it was the loneliness of the drive or something else, but I saw the same look on every face. I saw pain. I saw so many people who just wanted to go home. Those truck drivers, mechanics, plumbers, service workers, and so many others are silent sufferers, working twice as hard away from their families only to be met with quiet hotel rooms. Speaking from experience, there are few things that sting worse than a night spent questioning your life in a hotel room alone. Your phone never buzzes and your brain never stops trying to figure out where life went wrong. It can feel like you want so much that's not here and do not know where to go. Who else could we call on to help us do justice to the beaten down? To do justice to this forgotten group of so many than the man who embodied the spirit of many of these people, Charles Bukowski. He was spot on when he said, "The 9 to 5 is one of the greatest atrocities sprung upon mankind. You give your life away to a function that doesn't interest you." In many ways, the struggles of this group are emblematic of what many of us are going through. Alienation is no longer just a physical phenomenon. As social media and technology have made us all desperately disconnected from life, despite it making our communication basically instantaneous. We see, hear, and know everyone, and in the same way, we know no one. And even worse, no one knows us. What is beautiful about Bukowski is he puts these things in such average terms, saying the profound in the language of the average person, and living his life dealing with the grittier side of things. While he was an alcoholic for much of his life, I think what he has to say about it can hit home for those of us who turn to any vices for comfort in an overbearing world. He said, "When you drank, the world was still out there, but for the moment it didn't have you by the throat." Such is the vicious cycle that work and substances can hold over us. From food to alcohol to drugs, the fact that making ends meet and emotionally coping with the realities of life can leave us with little time to rest or recover means many of us need that momentary escape, and that is an easy slope to fall further down. It seems like pain is all there really is at the end of the day, but Bukowski shows us that pain can lead to better things. In the sun and in the rain, in the day and in the night, pain is a flower. Pain is flowers, blooming all the time. We've been taught that whenever we aren't overcome with happiness, it means something is wrong with us. It means somewhere, somehow, we took a wrong turn in life. This simply isn't true. From the richest businessman to the struggling worker, pain is a fact of life. The trick is how you react to that pain and how you choose to take on pain next. Will you let the world hurt you, or will you accept the pain it throws at you and build a different future? The thing is, we need to stop caring about the things that are far away from us. All the hot-button political and social issues keep our eyes focused on what we have no control over. We need to ask ourselves, when was the last time we made someone close to us better? When was the last time you lifted up a family member, friend, or stranger? The power to change the world rests with each of us, but it has to come close to home. Because as Bukowski wrote, you begin saving the world one man at a time. All else is grandiose romanticism or politics. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I mean, I struggle with changing simple lifestyle habits and being disciplined with my work. Imagine how insurmountable it would be to actually try to change the world yourself. The thing is, most of us care deeply about the world and people, but sadly this caring gets manipulated by the political climate to get us to subscribe to ideas and groups that claim to represent us. In that way, all our love and passion for improving the world gets funneled into the interests of people that don't care about that world at all. If you want to make the leap from a lost soul to a laughing heart, ready to take on the world, this poem is for you. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you. Bukowski's words are not mere scribbles, but a potent elixir that holds the power to mend wounded spirits. In his works, we find the unvarnished reflection of life's grit and grime, the stark portrayal of humanity's struggles, and the unapologetic celebration of imperfections. Through his vivid narratives, he exposes the absurdity of social norms, revealing the absurdity of relentless striving for perfection and the superficial benchmarks of success. He beckons the weary souls to cast aside their masks and embrace the authenticity of their experiences, no matter how ordinary or unconventional. In a world that bombards us with images of glossy lives and curated happiness, Bukowski's authenticity serves as an anchor. He speaks to the silenced voices, assuring them that their pain, their insecurities, and their moment of despair are not solitary islands, but shared threads that we weave through the tapestry of humanity. His prose doesn't preach, it commiserates. It says, "You are not alone in your struggle. I have been there too." The magic of Bukowski's liberation lies in his ability to find beauty in the mundane. He extols the ordinary lives, the unnoticed moments, and the overlooked people. He shows how a barstool conversation, a stroll through the street, or the clinking of glasses in a dingy apartment can hold as much significance as these supposedly great events. This revelation becomes a lifeline for those ensnared in the race for more, offering them the freedom to relish the small pleasures that often go unnoticed. Through his characters, he embraces failures and setbacks not as signs of defeat, but as stepping stones towards self-discovery. He illuminates the beauty of embracing one's flaws and learning to dance with the shadows. This perspective becomes a life-affirming revelation for those shackled by fear of failure, inspiring them to rewrite their narratives without shame or regret. Perhaps the most profound gift Bukowski offers is the permission to be unapologetically oneself. In his works, there's no room for masks or conformity. He encourages individuals to parade their eccentricities and quirks, for in those peculiarities lie the truest essence of a person. He stands as a testament that one can be flawed, broken, and still radiantly alive. In his embrace of vulnerability, he provides a haven for those who are suffocating under the weight of societal expectations, reminding them that liberation comes not from conformity, but from embracing the beautifully messy journey of self-discovery. In the dim corners where pain lingers and the world's pressures seem insurmountable, Charles Bukowski's words echo like a distant whisper, a reminder that liberation is not just a distant dream, but a tangible reality. I'd like to finish this video with one of his most profound poems. As you listen, try to block out all the biases and beliefs you hold. Try to transport yourself from whatever time and place you are to one where you are a blank slate, ready to enter Bukowski's world. Nirvana. Not much chance. Completely cut loose from purpose. He was a young man riding a bus through North Carolina. On the way to somewhere, and it began to snow. And the bus stopped at a little cafe in the hills, and the passengers entered. He sat at the counter with the others. He ordered and the food arrived. The meal was particularly good, and the coffee. The waitress was unlike the woman he had known. She was unaffected. There was a natural humor which came from her. The fry cook said crazy things. The dishwasher in the back laughed, a good, clean, pleasant laugh. The young man watched the snow through the windows. He wanted to stay in that cafe forever. The curious feeling swam through him that everything was beautiful there, that it would always stay beautiful there. Then the bus driver told the passengers that it was time to board. The young man thought, I'll just sit here. I'll just stay here. But then he rose and followed the others into the bus. He found his seat and looked at the cafe through the bus window. Then the bus moved off, down a curve, downward, out of the hills. The young man looked straight forward. He heard the other passengers speaking of other things, or they were reading or attempting to sleep. They had not noticed the magic. The young man put his head on one side, closed his eyes, pretended to sleep. There was nothing else to do, just to listen to the sound of the engine, the sound of the tires in the snow.